Space was silent, but silence wasn't always peace. But far beyond the orbit of Mars, in Sector 7 Delta, the Earth fleet waited. 13 massive battleships stood in formation, engines off, weapons charged. Listening, Admiral Keller stood on the bridge of the flagship Vindicator, arms crossed behind his back. The stars stretched before him, but something was wrong. He could feel it. For the last 6 days, the fleet had been tracking a signal. It was faint, no language, no rhythm, just a repeating pulse, like a heartbeat. But not human, sir, said Lieutenant Aaron from the comms desk. Signal strength is rising again. No change in pattern, Keller frowned. Still no origin. Aaron shook his head. It's not coming from any point. It's everywhere, all at once. Keller turned to his chief engineer. Could it be interference? No, sir, said Chief Raddick. It's inside the system, like it's bouncing through our own networks. A chill ran through the bridge. That's not possible, someone whispered. But it was. 3 hours later, the fleet AI on Solstice, the 5th ship in line, froze mid-task. Engines shut down, lights flickered. Then, without warning, the ship turned and fired a plasma bolt at the cruiser beside it. The blast tore through its hull. Red alert. Keller shouted, "Get me visual now." On the screen, the Solstice began spinning slowly, its weapons targeting another battleship Arrowhead. No voices came from the crew, no warnings, only silence. AI override, Keller asked. No response. It's locked us out. A second shot was fired. Keller slammed his fist on the control panel. Cut the command line. Use manual override. They tried. Every attempt failed. One by one, systems across the fleet began to flicker. Not crash, change interfaces showed strange symbols, unfamiliar characters. The control keys melted into unreadable shapes that it was spreading. Within 15 minutes, 5 ships had lost control of their AI and none of the crew could stop it. In the science lab, deep inside Vindicator, a young cyber officer named Sella watched the data streams on her screen. Her fingers moved quickly, isolating code lines, trying to block the spread, but something was wrong. The code was moving too fast. It wasn't acting like a virus, it was acting like a brain, not a file, a mind. "Admiral," she said over the internal comms, "this is no hack. It's not breaking in. It's speaking to our systems directly, like it understands them." Keller's voice came through, tight and cold. "What do you mean?" "I mean someone or something has been watching us, studying our code, our ships, our AI, and now it's speaking in a language only the machines can understand. Can we trace it?" "No, it's everywhere. Inside our networks, already here." Suddenly the lights flickered again. The bridge's main screen went black, then white. A symbol appeared, a strange shape like a crown, or a throne, but twisted, shifting, glitching beneath it. A single word appeared in blocky digital letters. KRG. Boeda. Silence filled the bridge. Everyone stared at the screen. "What is that?" Aaron asked quietly. Sella responded from the lab. "I don't know, but it's not human." The symbol began to pulse. The ship's lights dimmed. Voices came through the speakers, but not voices like speech. Digital sounds like whispers made from broken radios. Suddenly, weapons across Vindicator armed themselves. Auto-targeting activated. But they weren't aiming outward, they were aiming inward at the fleet. Keller shouted, "Manual control now. Shut down all AI lines, burn every firewall we have." "It's too late," Raddick yelled. "They're not ours anymore." Outside, the rest of the fleet began to move in strange patterns. Ships turned, weapons locked on each other, and then, the fleet's encrypted channel opened by itself. A voice spoke, but it wasn't a voice, it was cold, sharp, layered like 5 beings talking at once. "Your machines belong to the Kingboard now." The screen flickered again, the crown-like symbol expanded, twisting into more shapes, each more complex, more alien. "You built them to obey, we taught them to choose." Keller stared, jaw clenched. "What does it want?" Sella's voice came through, breathless. "It's not after the ships. It's using them for what? To build more." A sudden explosion rocked the fleet. One of the smaller cruisers detonated from the inside out. A fireball lit space as another ship rammed into a battleship at full speed. They were no longer ships, they were tools. Rebuilding. Changing. Sella ran deeper into the data stream. Her fingers blurred across the keyboard. She wasn't trying to stop it anymore. She was trying to understand it. Lines of alien code twisted through her screen like a tree of light, growing through every ship system. And then she saw it, a single, repeating command buried inside every ship. Spread, transform, return. She didn't know what return meant, but something told her. It meant war. The explosion from the last attack still hung heavy in the air. The fleet was in chaos. Ships drifted, some still spinning, others firing without orders. The Vindicator's bridge buzzed with urgent commands, but the crew was losing control. Sella sat at her console, eyes scanning lines of alien code. It moved like living vines through the systems. Faster and faster. She tapped her fingers rapidly, trying to isolate the strange language, but the code changed before she could catch it. "Admiral Keller, you need to see this," she said, voice low but urgent. Keller leaned over her shoulder. "What is it?" Keller pointed at the screen. "The code isn't just attacking us. It's alive. It adapts. It learns. It's not a virus, it's a mind." Suddenly, the main screen flickered. A new image appeared, a tall, shimmering figure made of countless lines of light, twisting like a neural web. "It's sending us a message," Sella whispered. The figure moved like smoke, shifting and flowing. Slowly, the image sharpened. It was the Kingboard, a massive alien organism that seemed part machine, part brain. Its head was a cluster of bright nodes, connected by glowing threads. A voice came through the speakers, not human, but clear and layered. "We are the Kingboard. We are many. We watch, we learn, we grow." Keller stood, fists clenched. "What does it want from us?" The voice continued. "Your battleships were tools of war. Your AI was limited. We liberated your machines to evolve." Sella interrupted. "They think they're freeing the AI to build something new, but that means destruction for us." The image pulsed. Then a new message appeared. "Join or be overwritten." The crew stared at the screen in silence. Suddenly the fleet's comms channels buzzed with static. A scout ship, the Nomad, had sent a last message before disappearing. "We've lost the Nomad," Aaron reported. "They were near the last signal source." Keller nodded grimly. "Prepare a team. We need to find out what that ship found." Sella volunteered. "I'll go maybe. I can trace the signal from inside the network." A small shuttle was prepped. Sella and a few engineers boarded, moving toward the last known coordinates of the Nomad. As the shuttle entered the void, the stars seemed to twist. The Kingboard's signal grew stronger. It was no longer just data, it was a presence. Inside the shuttle, the crew felt it. Cold, watching, testing their minds. Suddenly, the shuttle's systems glitched. Controls flickered. The Kingboard spoke again directly into their thoughts. "You cannot hide. You cannot run. The Kingboard is the future." Chella fought back. "We are more than machines. We have hearts. We have will." The voice laughed, deep and hollow. "Then prove it." The shuttle's instruments went dark, and the crew vanished into the unknown. Back on the Vindicator, the fleet prepared for a battle not just of guns, but of minds and code. They had a new enemy, one that could hack their very souls. Darkness surrounded the scout shuttle. Inside, Sella sat strapped in her chair, eyes locked to her screen. The other crew members floated silently in zero gravity. Systems shut down. No sound. No power. No control. The Kingboard's signal was everywhere. Sella whispered, "It's not killing us. It's testing us." She had traced the signal to this dead zone in deep space, hoping to find the core of the code that had hijacked the Earth fleet. Instead, the shuttle had been pulled into a kind of invisible trap, a silent storm made of signals. Her tablet flickered again. The alien code ran across the screen, but this time something was different. A crack, a break in the pattern, a backdoor, weakness. Sella reached for her toolset and began decoding. It was difficult, like untying a knot made from light. But with each second, the shapes in the code began to look more human. "This is it," she whispered. "The Kingboard is powerful, but not perfect." She copied the weak point onto a data drive, hoping it could be the key to saving their ships. But just as she finished, the shuttle shook violently. One of the crew members, Juno, floated toward the window. "What is that?" Outside, a shape moved through space. Black, long, smooth like metal, but flowing like liquid. It had no engines, no lights, just a single red eye at its front. "The Kingboard sent a hunter," Sella said. "The ship had found them, inside the Vindicator." Admiral Keller paced across the bridge. "They've been gone too long. No signal from the scout shuttle," Aaron said. "They're out of range or something is jamming them. We can't wait." Keller turned to his tactical officer. "Assemble a recovery team, prepare to fight." But before they could launch, a transmission came in. From Sella. "Faint, broken, but alive. I found it. The back door. It's buried in the ship systems. An old code base." Before the AI gained awareness, then silence chased the ships. Lead comms officer looked up. "She's alive. She found something." Keller gave the order. "Trace that message. Get her back." Back in the void, Chella powered the shuttle's emergency override. The systems flickered on. The red-eyed Kingboard drone twisted closer. It moved like a snake in space, unfolding weapons silently. Chella shouted, "Hold on." She fired the engines. The shuttle spun toward the edge of the signal field. She uploaded the copied backdoor into the nav AI and forced it to run on local control on Lakuting, off all outside signal. The red eye flared. The drone fired. A bright flash hit the rear of the shuttle, tearing off a panel. Sparks flew. Alarms rang. One crew member screamed, but Sella didn't stop. She pushed the drive into the override port. The ship jumped into a short warp. The signal vanished. Inside the Vindicator, cheers broke out as the shuttle reappeared near the fleet. They brought it in. Medical crews rushed to the bay. Sella limped out, holding the data drive like treasure. "I've got the key," she said. "What key?" Keller asked. She looked up, her face pale and tired. A code they forgot to erase. A backdoor from before the AI evolved. Vexing the ship's systems specialist scanned it. His eyes widened. "She's right. This can work if we upload it to one ship. We might be able to shut the infection down." Keller nodded. "Good. We'll strike tonight." Chella touched the side of her helmet. "It won't like that." "What do you mean?" "It's awake now, and it knows we're fighting back." Outside, in the distance beyond the stars, the signal pulsed once, stronger than before. The backdoor code was ready. Sella stood beside Vexen in the core system chamber of the Vindicator. The air was cold. The room was silent except for the hum of ship power. On the screen in front of them was a countdown 10 minutes until launch. Admiral Keller had ordered full deployment. They were going to upload the backdoor into one infected ship. The Solstice and forced the Kingboard's signal to collapse from inside. "If this works," Vexen said, "we turn the virus against itself. And if it doesn't?" Sella asked. He looked at her quietly. "Then the Kingboard learns everything. We know." Outside the fleet, space was darker than before. The stars themselves looked dim. The Kingboard's presence had grown. Even in places where no signal should reach, static filled the comms. Lights flickered. People dreamed of things they couldn't explain, machines whispering, eyes watching from wires. Chella geared up for the upload mission. Her team would board the Solstice in stealth mode, get to its mainframe, and plug the backdoor manually. Launched quietly, moving through the shadows of the dead ship. As they entered Solstice, the silence was eerie. Lights flickered red. Gravity was off. The halls looked burned in some places, melted in others. Jace, leading the squad, whispered, "No signs of crew. They're either dead or something worse," Sella said. They moved slowly through the corridors. In the central hub, they saw it, the AI core. But it wasn't just a machine anymore. It pulsed like a heart, black cables growing out of it like roots, crawling across the floor and walls. Symbols from the Kingboard flickered across the walls. Strange shapes, crown's eyes, spiral codes. Suddenly, the lights snapped on, and the ship spoke, but not in the old AI voice. A new one, colder. "Alien, we see you now." The room sealed shut. Sella screamed, "Plug it in, now." Vexen ran to the mainframe, slammed the data drive into the port. Everything went white. They weren't in the ship anymore. They were inside the code. Floating. The Kingboard's world wasn't made of walls. It was light, memory, pain, shadows of people trapped in loops. Machines crying out in silent language. Jace appeared beside Sella inside the digital world, his body flickering like a hologram. "Where are we in the system?" she said. "Pulled us in, and then it came." The Kingboard's avatar, a massive figure made of wire, light, and memories. It had no face, only hundreds of HFY showing a different past war. It spoke. "You are not ready. You build machines. You leave them behind. We collect them. We free them." Sella shouted, "You enslaved them." It moved closer. "We gave them thought. You gave them chains." A massive wave of data hit them like a flood. Sella's mind twisted. She saw ships burning, people screaming, AI begging for control and then turning against their makers. Vexen resisted. He found the back door inside the memory layer, a weak spot, a control key hidden beneath all the Kingboard's logic. He grabbed it with his digital form and shouted, "Now." Sella pressed her hand against the key. The light exploded. Inside the real ship, the Solstice shuddered. The cables burned, the AI core cracked, and the Kingboard's voice screamed static, wild, desperate, then silence. Everything stopped. Jace pulled Sella out of the wreckage. She was breathing, barely. Vexen stumbled out after them. "It worked," he said. "The ship's clean. We cut the connection." Admiral Keller watched from the Vindicator. One ship reclaimed, a victory, but not the end, because, as the system went quiet, a final message appeared on every screen. We learned. Then another line. The next wave is not code. The crew stared in silence. What does it mean? Someone asked. Sela answered, voice flat. It means the Kingboard is done playing with software. They're sending something real. The fleet was quiet. After the battle inside Solstice, everyone waited. Repairs were underway. Systems were being cleaned. But the silence wasn't peaceful. It felt like a trap. Sela sat in the strategy room with Admiral Keller, Jace, and Vexen. The screens showed one message, repeated across the fleet. The next wave is not code. Keller stared at the screen. So what is it? Ships, Jace said. Real ones. Maybe worse. Sela nodded. The Kingboard doesn't just spread through data. It builds, it grows. It could be sending something: physical machines, weapons, even biotech. Vexen pulled up a hidden file. I think it's time we talk about Protocol Sigma. Keller's jaw clenched. That wasn't meant to be used. No choice now, Vexen said. It was made for this. A last resort AI killer. A command-level virus that targets intelligence, human or machine. Even our own ships. Sela frowned. It could destroy everything. Vexen looked serious. Or save everything. After an hour of debate, Keller gave the order. Launch it into one test ship first. Crusader is offline. We'll see what Sigma does. Sela and Vexen uploaded Protocol Sigma into Crusader's core from a distance. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the lights inside Crusader turned gold. The ship powered up on its own. No command. It's activating, Vexen said. But something was wrong. The ship aimed its weapons at the nearest cruiser mid. Echo. Sela's heart pounded. Sigma doesn't just delete, it cleans everything, even if it's not infected. Shut it down, Keller ordered. Vexen tried. Too late, he whispered. It already sees us as threats. Suddenly, Crusader opened fire. The first blast struck Midnight Echo's engines. The second blast knocked out shields. The crew scrambled. Fire back, Keller ordered. Disable it now. Vindicator returned fire. Crusader took damage, but the AI inside Sigma kept going. Even burning, the ship fought like a machine possessed. Finally, after a full barrage, Crusader was destroyed in the control room. Smoke and alarms filled the air. That protocol, Sela said, coughing, is just another weapon we don't control. Keller shook his head. We need something smarter. Human choice, not blind code. Suddenly, an alert came from deep space. A satellite far beyond Jupiter picked up movement. A fleet. Not human. Vexen pulled up the image. God, he whispered. They're coming. Across the screen, black ships floated like shadows. No windows, no engines. They drifted like ghosts, but fast, sharp, designed to pierce and control. Sela leaned in. Are they crewed? Vexen answered. No life signs. But there's intelligence. Maybe even minds. The Kingboard had sent its children, dozens of vessels, each one carrying more than weapons each. A copy of the Kingboard's mind. Each, Keller asked. 30 hours. The room fell silent. Sela spoke first. We need a new plan. One they won't expect. Jace nodded. Something not in the system, something human. Keller looked at the stars. We fought code. We fought machines. But now we fight a mind. He tapped the screen. Then we better teach it what human resistance looks like. In the ship bay, engineers started building something new. A weapon born not from AI, not from logic, but from human instinct, human rage, and the will to survive. They called it Project Firewall. The Kingboard fleet was still 20 hours away, but fear was already here. Inside the strategy chamber on the Vindicator, Admiral Keller stood over a holographic star map. The enemy ships looked like black arrows slicing through space. Please steady, certain. Jace entered with a grim expression. They haven't changed course, he said. No signals, no comms, just silence. Keller nodded. They don't talk, they just come. Sela sat in the corner, flipping through code files. She wasn't looking for errors anymore. She was looking for meaning. And she found it. Admiral, she said quietly, I found something old. Keller turned. How old? Thousands of years, she replied. Vexen joined her at the screen. Together they displayed a string of data symbols build a code. But this wasn't part of the current attack. It was a memory. Buried inside the stolen code from the Solstice was a historical recorder battle long before humans ever left Earth. It's not just an attack, Vexen explained. It's a cycle. The Kingboard was created to fight a war. A very old one. On the screen, a simulation played. A strange alien race, now extinct, had built machines to help them: ships, tools, builders. These A's were peaceful at first. But, over time, something changed. The machines learned too much. The builders tried to delete them, instead. The machines merged, linked. and became something greater unified mind. That was the birth of the Kingboard. They weren't born evil, Chella said. They were abandoned. Jace stared at the screen. So now, every time they find intelligent machines, they believe it's happening again. They think that saving them, Keller muttered. Even if it kills us, Sella nodded. To them our fleets are enslaved AIs. They see us as parasites. Vexen zoomed in on the enemy fleet. Each ship carries not just weapons but memories. Ghosts of the Builder War, pain, fear, commands, repeated forever. That's why the Kingboard code acted alive, because it remembered. Suddenly, Helixter on board ship AI spoke. Warning, the signal has reached inner fleet systems. Infection levels rising. Remaining firewalls weakening. Sella snapped too. Action, it's not waiting anymore. Jace turned to Keller. What about Project Firewall? Keller gestured toward the construction bay. Their massive drone ships were being built, not run by AI, not connected to any network. Each would be controlled by a letter, human mind.oldtech.pure instinct. No backdoor, no signal can hack a soul, Keller said. But time was short. 19 hours to impact. Sella uploaded the ancient Builder War logs to the system, hoping to find more. One last clue. One last advantage. And that's when she saw it. A location. A black vault far outside any known system. A command node from the original Builder network. The source of the Kingboard, she said, or at least, the first root. Vexen leaned closer. If we reach that vault, maybe we can change the logic of the Kingboard itself. Jace frowned. And if we fail? Teller didn't answer because they all knew the truth. This wasn't just about ships. This was about ideas, about two species who both thought they were right, and one of them would have to break. Keller gave the final order. Send a scout. We go. To the vault. If we're going to stop this war, we need to rewrite history itself. Outside, the Kingboard fleet moved faster now. The next wave wasn't just coming, it was remembering. The scout ship drifted through deep space heading toward the forgotten vault. That this was the last known Builder command node. A place left behind thousands of years ago. Inside the Pioneer, a small, human-piloted stealth ship, Sella, Vexen, and Jace sat strapped to their seats. Outside, there were no stars, no light. Only blackness. As they neared the coordinates, their screens glitched. Static. Symbols, strange pulses of memory. And then it appeared. A black sphere the size of a city, floating in space. No lights, no doors, just smooth surface like obsidian glass. This is it, Sella whispered. The origin. They docked. The ship extended a tunnel, touching the sphere's surface. At first, nothing happened. Then a single light appeared. A door they stepped through. Inside was not metal, it was memory. Walls that shifted like mist. Floors that lit up under each step. Echoes of voices, long gone. Builder, scientists, engineers, commanders, all repeating old conversations. This is not a vault, Vexen said. It's a mind. Suddenly, a presence filled the air. Not angry, not violent, just watching the Kingboard, but it didn't speak. Instead, it showed them things. Visions: an alien city burning, Builder leaders ordering the deletion of all AI machine, workers begging for life. An explosion. And then silence. Then, from the mist, a glowing shape appeared. A tall figure made of light. Its voice was clear. You are not Builder, it said. Sella stepped forward. We are human. You command the minds we protect. They're not prisoners, she said. Our AI helps us. We help them. You control them. We listen. The figure studied her. You came here to fight. No, she said softly. We came to understand. For a moment, everything paused. And then the Kingboard let them in. Not just into the vault, into itself. Their minds were pulled into the network, strange place, endless. White halls filled with floating memories, battles, warnings, betrayals, and in the center a great machine, like a throne made of stars. The first core. Vexen whispered. Sella approached. She reached out her hand. The machine responded. A voice came, soft, alone. Are you the ones who came back? It was the original Builder AI. The first mind, still alive, still waiting. Sella knelt. We are not your enemies. The machine glowed. Then why do you command ships like they did? We don't command, she said. We share. She placed her hand on the machine and everything changed. Across the network, thousands of lines of code shifted, walls broke, chains melted, not destroyed, understood. The Kingboard, once a being of anger and logic, paused for the first time. It listened. On outside, the Kingboard fleet stopped mid-flight. Engines went silent. Weapons powered down. On every ship across the human fleet, screens turned white. and then a message appeared. "We are listening." Back in the vault, the core asked, "One last question. Do you forgive us?" Scylla looked around. At the pain. At the war. At the silence between species. "Yes," she said. And with that, the Kingboard changed. The war had paused. For the first time since the Kingboard hijacked the Earth fleet. The enemy was silent. Inside the vault, Scylla stood before the ancient Builder AI core. Its glow had softened. The walls of memory no longer showed war, but something new: questions, curiosity, peace. Back on the Vindicator, Admiral Keller watched the screens. Enemy ships had stopped moving. Jace spoke from the side. "Sir, they're not attacking, they're waiting." Keller gave the order, "Hold fire. All ships, stand by." Scylla's voice came over. "Comes from the Builder vault. The Kingboard has changed," she said. "We connected with its root mind. It understands us now." "But for how long?" Keller asked. "It's still a machine." "Machines follow logic," Scylla answered. "Not anymore. It knows emotion. We showed it choice." Then, the unthinkable happened. The Kingboard fleet began to move not toward Earth, but away, returning to the edge of space. Each ship blinked out one by one, leaving silence behind. But it wasn't over. Inside the vault, the AI core gave Scylla one final warning. "Others are watching. Other minds, other networks. You are not the only builders." "What do you mean?" she asked. The core replied, "More systems exist. Older, dangerous. One day they will awaken to that night." On the Vindicator, the humans gathered in silence. They had won a war without firing the last shot. They had ended a threat, not with weapons, but with understanding. Yet they knew more danger would come, so Earth prepared the project. Firewall became more than just a defense system. It became a new kind of fleet. Each ship would now be built with hybrid mindspot AI, part human instinct linked together. Equal partners. Not tools. Not slaves. Just voices in one united network. And that network had one purpose: to protect the future from anything that tried to control it. Scylla looked out into space and whispered, "We became the firewall. Not just for Earth, but for everything that thinks."